Let's get into it. The next movie review, Parasite. Yes, Parasite. This movie won 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Now, I thought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood should have won Best Picture. Okay. I'm not the biggest Tarantino fan, but I loved that movie. All right. So the director is Bu Jun Hung. All right. So this is basically the Korean version of how classism is viewed. This is a very, very sharp, smart, intelligent film. I watched this movie 4 times, and I understand why it won for Best Picture. I get it. At first, I didn't get it because I only watched it 1 time, and I seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood twice. So I'm like, oh, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. No, this movie is fucking deep. Okay, these kids are uber smart. You know how poor kids are somehow just as crafty and ingenious, and you know what I'm saying. They're super smart. Just they just need the opportunity to show and grow, right? So Parasite, basically classism. This is pretty much it. Okay, so let's get into it. We have a destitute family. They're looking for free Wi-Fi in their flat, but it's underground. So there's a window. The window is ground level. So they're like down. Okay. So, I mean, when I say destitute, they're destitute. So they're looking for free Wi Fi. They make pizza boxes. Okay. They make pizza boxes. Uh, so what happens is the pizza company shows up and takes the boxes that they made, and they get paid for all the boxes that they use. Whatever boxes they don't use, they don't get paid. Okay. It's infested with stink bugs. Okay. They leave their windows open during fumigation to kill the bugs. This is how destitute this family is. Can you imagine having so many bugs? You leave your windows open during fumigation. Okay. They're docked 10% of their pay because 1 out of every 4 of the boxes are rejects. So the kids, the brother and sister, negotiate with the box inspector to give the brother a job in exchange for 10% of the penalty. They able to turn their phones back on. Okay. There's a kid named Min. Min is from he's the wealthy. He's from the wealthy side of town. His family's wealthy. He is friends with Ki Yu. Ki Yu is the boy, is the brother. Ki Young is the sister. Okay. Um, he stops by to give them a scholar's rock. It's called a landscape stone. A scholar's rock is supposed to bring material wealth to families. Gives them a gift because they're cool like that. Min proposes to Kiyu to take over his English tutoring gig. Tutoring rich kids pays more while Min is abroad. So Min's going overseas to study. He says, "Hey, take my tutoring gig. Tutor this chick that I tutor." Okay. Min chose Kiyu because he knows the college guys would be lusting over Dahai. Dahai is Min's girlfriend. That's his fling. Okay. So he chose Kiyu because he knew Kiyu was not gonna make no moves on his woman. Okay. Uh Kiyu has prior military service and passed the university exams but can't afford tuition. Min tells him to fake being a university student. Min will also give him a recommendation. Okay. Min gets Ki Young to forge Kiwoo's a university ID. Kiwoo goes to the tutor interview. He meets Dahai's mother, who's very aloof. Okay. And she lives in a bubble. Okay. She's a rich man's wife. That's all she knows. She's useless at this point. Okay. Um, she asks to sit on the first tutoring session to determine if Kiwoo is up to snuff. Okay. During the pre-exam, Kiwoo is stern and tells Dahai she needs to dominate through the exam. That she needs vigor after checking her her pulse because she is unsure about question number 24. Dahai's mother is impressed. He's hired for 3 classes a week for 2 hours each. Dahai's mom refers to Kiwoo as Kevin. So when I say Kevin, I'm talking about the brother Kiwoo. Okay. They meet Dasong, the youngest child that's obsessed with American Indian culture. It's implied that he has ADHD. Implied. But as we get to the end of the movie, we'll know why he acts the way he does. They break down one of the song's self portraits. Kevin recommends Jessica to help with the song. Jessica is his sister. That's Ki Young. Ki Young is. He said, "Hey, yo, I got somebody that can tutor him. This chick I know. It's his sister. It's brilliant, 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 brilliant." Okay, this is the plan to socially integrate into the highest class. Okay. Dahai tells Kevin that the song is faking his eccentricism, which he's not. Okay. He's fucked up. But we'll get into why. Dahai then questions if Jessica is really Min's classmate. She thinks she's Kevin's girlfriend. Dahai and Kevin share a kiss. So Min did all that to prevent guys going after his girl. Come to find out his friend pretty much, you know, his girl chose him. Okay. Jessica gets the song compliant because the song is like all over the place. The little kids just don't want to do it. He just attention span is like this short, so he wants to do everything all at once. Okay. Jessica breaks down one of the song's latest drawings. She asks his mom, "Did something happen to him in first grade?" The madam is impressed. The house, the wife, the mom, madam. They call her madam. Madam is amazed. Jessica points out to the schizophrenic zone in the drawing in the lower right region. So in his painting, there's these squiggly lines in the bottom of the corner, and that's called the schizophrenic zone. Okay. Okay. Psychotic symptoms reveal themselves in that area. Madam then sees it in his other drawings and becomes upset and agrees to hire Jessica 4 times a week for 2 hours a day for 2 hours each session. Jessica, aka Ki Young, meets the song's father, Dong Ik. Okay. Dong Ik is the daddy. Okay. His driver takes Jessica to the train station. Now let me this is how savage and just utterly just stupid smart these kids are. During the ride home, she then takes off her panties and leaves them in the car as a means to set up the driver with in the future. Okay. She takes off her panties and leaves them in the car. Okay. Jessica's dad used to be a valet driver and is familiar with driving a Mercedes Benz. She then concocts a plan to have her dad become Dong Ik's new driver. At dinner, the family is catching up to the kids' plans. The kids are spilling out. The kids are just laying it out like, look, this is how we're going to integrate. This is how we're going to take over this family. We're going to take over this family. Hence the title Parasite. But God damn it, it gets much deeper. Let's go in. Okay. Jessica tells Kevin she faked some art therapy mumbo jumbo and it worked. The family can afford to eat out due to the kids' new salaries. The next night, while being driven home, Dong Ik, the daddy, discovers the panties Jessica left in the car the previous night. He shows the panties to his wife. They're beside themselves. He suggests drugs may be involved. Dong Ik looks for an excuse to fire him, the driver. Dahai, the daughter, overhears the convo. The wife questions Jessica if anything happened because they think he might have come on to her. Madam suggests an older driver may be better. Jessica recommends an uncle. Madam agrees to meet him. The next day, Kevin and his dad, Ki Woo, right? His dad practiced learning the functions of a Mercedes. They go to a Mercedes dealership and act like they're going to buy it, and they're just going in. They go in the car and they play with all the buttons and take it for a test drive. Blah 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 blah. So get acclimated to being the driver, okay, of for Dong Ik because he has the same Mercedes make and model. Okay, brilliant plan. Okay, the dad has a chauffeur interview with Dong Ik. Dong's cup of coffee does not move. So the entire time he's driving Dong, uh, Dong looks at his cup of coffee and it's level. It doesn't move. Okay. There's no herky jerky, even with the stopping and the going, with the braking and the speeding up. It stays even. So Dong's impressed with his driving skills. Okay. The kid's next plan is to get rid of the housekeeper and to get their mom to replace the housekeeper. They learn from Dahai the housekeeper is allergic to peaches. So Kevin uses a razor to scrape peach fuzz from a peach and put it in a vial. Then Kevin flicks it on the housekeeper in passing, and she develops a full blown rash and asthma attack. The dad goes to the clinic where she's at and then snaps a selfie and shows it to the madam saying she wasn't sure if that was her, the housekeeper. The dad tells madam he overheard her saying she has active tuberculosis and tuberculosis is highly contagious and that she's always around the song. Nigga, this is this is the most gangster shit. Listen, this is forget Dallas, forget Falcon Crest, forget Dynasty, forget the Colbys, forget General Hospital, okay? Forget what's the one show with Stefano and Bo and Hope. Forget that show. This family. Okay. Okay. So the next day, Jessica flicks more peach fuzz on the housekeeper and she has another attack just as Madam arrives home. As so as the housekeeper throws away a Kleenex in the trash can, right? Watch this. This is how slick it is. The dad goes over to the garbage can and squirts hot sauce on the Kleenex she just put into the garbage can to make it look like blood. So then the dad, when I say dad, I mean uh what's his name? I mean the kid's dad, not Dong Ik. I mean the dad, that's the driver that's replacing him. The dad then picks up the Kleenex to show the bloody Kleenex to the madam. Brilliant. Madam tells the dad to not tell her husband. Madam will contact, will come up with, or will concoct a reason to dismiss her. Okay. The next night, Dong Ik tells Mr. Kim, that's his name. We'll call him Mr. Kim. He wants braised ribs, but there's nobody to cook. Since the housekeeper left and he doesn't know why she left, Dong Ik says his wife has no talent for housework. She's bad at cleaning and her cooking is awful. Mr. Kim gives Dong a business card for The Care. They provide VIP service to high profile clients, maids, caregivers, and drivers. Mr. Kim tells Dong to give the card to his wife, but not to mention it came from Mr. Kim. The next day, Madam calls The Care, and Jessica answers pretending to be the senior advisor for The Care. Oh my God, brilliant. Jessica tells Madam send over copies of her ID, income levels, and title to their property. Do you understand? Title to their property. The next day, Mr. Kim's wife is hired as the new housekeeper. Later that night, Mr. Kim and Dong Ik return with gifts for Dasong. The song notices that the new housekeeper and Mr. Kim smell the same, and then says Jessica smells the same too. Pay attention, y'all. The next day, Mr. Kim suggests they use different detergents and fabric softeners. Jessica says it's the smell of the basement. They need to move into better housing. Um, Dong, Dahai, the song, and Madam leave for a camping trip while Jessica, Kevin, Mr. Kim, and the mom temporarily move in to make use of the house. The mom was an Olympic level hammer thrower back in the day for the North Korean team. Okay, they began to philosophize about the mind state of rich people. Mr. Kim says rich people are naive, no resentments. They're all semi drunk. The doorbell then rings. It's the old housekeeper. She shows back up at the house. She says she forgot something in the basement under the kitchen. The mom lets her in and asks, "What did she leave down below?" The housekeeper reveals a secret underground compartment in the kitchen. The the housekeeper's husband has been living underneath the house. The housekeeper reveals the mom's name is Chong Suk. She says she's been in contact with the song and knew where they were going. So the little boy had been texting the old housekeeper back and forth after she got fired. Okay. The husband has been in the bunker for 4 years. The husband has been hiding from debt collectors. The husband used loan sharks for a failed cake shop. The wife offers to send Chong, which is the mother, right? She offers to send Chong money every month to let him continue to stay in the bunker and to feed him once a month. Before Chong can call the police, Jessica and Mr. Kim and Kevin fall down the stairs. They were all listening to the conversation. They all reveal themselves while eavesdropping. The old housekeeper takes a picture of them. She threatens to send the video to the madam while the old housekeeper gives her husband a massage. She has the family on their knees with their hands in the air. Mr. Kim then tells the couple as the family joins in the fray, they're fighting for the phone. They're all fighting for this phone. Jessica then runs to the kitchen to retrieve peaches and begins to rub it in the old housekeeper's face. Lord have mercy. Kiwoo Kevin secures the phone and deletes the video. The madam calls the house and orders some food to be cooked because the camping trip was cut short. They'll be home in 8 minutes. They move the old couple down into the bunker and hog tie them while furiously cleaning up the house. The old housekeeper makes one final attempt to come upstairs, but Chong, the mother, kicks her downstairs, causing her to fall and knocking her unconscious. Mr. Kim discovers the husband attempting to send a message to Dong Ik using Morse code via the light switch on the second floor. Okay, underground in the bunker, there's a light switch, and then what the husband would do is tap it out Morse code. So then the madam upstairs notices the light fixtures is always blinking sporadically. Okay, but she never doesn't have any type of military or scout training, so she wouldn't know this is Morse code. She just knows this light keeps flickering every once in a while. Okay, the husband figures Dong Ik will know it's Morse code since he was a scout. The madam reveals to Chong Suk that the song seen a ghost in the house at the age of 1. This is where we get into it now. Okay, Late one night, after his birthday party, he was in the kitchen eating cake when he saw the old housekeeper's husband, saw his face rising from the basement in the kitchen. That is what fucked this kid up. That is exactly why he is the way he is. So every night, the husband will come out from the bunker into the kitchen to steal food to take back into the bunker. The kid just happened to be there late one night eating a cake, saw the face, and ain't been right since. Okay. All right. So then Mr. Kim, and this is all a flashback scene. Why? Okay. But Mr. Kim then ties up the husband. Kevin, while hiding under the High's bed, is noticed by her dog. The High takes the dog away, so she didn't see him underneath the bed. The dog is like barking at underneath, pawing at underneath the bed. She just takes the dog away. Okay. Everybody comes out of their hiding spaces into the living room. They all hide underneath the couch. The family. Okay, so then the family comes downstairs because the song takes his tent outside during a rainstorm. Okay, so while they're hiding underneath the couches, the song comes downstairs and says, "I want to go outside in the rain with my tent." So then the mother and the father, Dong Ik, and the madam are laying on the couch on top of them while they're underneath the couch. Okay. So I sleep on the couch, keep an eye on the song. Dong Ik says it smells like Mr. Kim. I say, Dong Ik says it smells like Mr. Kim. He says he smells like an old radish or a boiled rag. Dong says he can't tolerate the smell. He says it smells like the subway. Dong says people that ride the subway have a special smell. They begin to make out on the couch. He then asks the madam if she's wearing those cheap panties like Jessica likes to wear. It will make him really hard. Madam says she'll do it if he buys her drugs. Later on that night, they attempt to sneak out through the garage out in the rain. The kids begin to question their next move. Mr. Kim has a plan. Now, mind you, it is raining, torrential downpour. It is a serious rainstorm. They return back to the apartment. The apartment is completely flooded with sewage water. Back in the bunker, the old housekeeper tells her husband to remember the name Chong Suk. The husband begins to bang his head on the light switch in Morse code. The song sees the flickering light and begins to transcribe the message. This kid is sharp. This kid is sharp. The little ADHD kid. The song. He's smart. Okay. Kim, Kevin, Jessica are at a shelter in a gymnasium. He then says the best plan is to have no plan at all. Kevin apologizes, saying it's his fault and he'll fix everything while hugging the landscape stone. So when they went back to their apartment, it was completely flooded. It was completely underwater. They left the window open. The same window they would leave open during fumigation. Okay. The apartment is so jacked up. So you know how you go in your bathroom, right? Your toilet and your bathtub are on the floor, right? In their apartment, there's a riser and the toilet sits up top. So you have to climb up this riser to use the toilet. The toilet is basically above the sink. You understand? That's how jacked up their apartment was. Okay. The next day, Madam invites Ki Woo to the song's birthday party, and Dahai invites Ki Young, Kevin and Jessica. The family is foraging for clothes in the gymnasium. Madam tells Chong Suk to go to the basement to get tables and chairs for the party. Mr. Kim and Madam are grocery shopping. During the drive back home, Madam notices the smell emanating from Mr. Kim. During the party, Dahai notices Kevin is distracted. He asks her, "Does he fit in here?" in the upper class? She says yes. Dong Ik and Mr. Kim are dressed like tomahawks for the party. Jessica and Chong Suk agree to try to compromise. They try to agree to try to compromise with the housekeeper and her husband. Kevin takes his scholar's rock down to the bunker to give to the couple. He drops the rock in the process and is then placed in a zip tie around his neck. Okay, so the husband then jumped him. Okay, the husband attempts to take Kevin's. Oh shit! Wait! I'm sorry. Wait! He jumps the rock and playing the zip tie. Okay, yeah. So the husband gets the drop on him, right? Ties him up, zip tie. The husband attempts to bash his head. I'm sorry, bash his head with the rock, but Kevin escapes upstairs, but then is caught by his leash, and the husband then begins to drop the rock on his head, and you see the rock hit his head, and the blood squirt out. So I'm like, holy shit, he's done. So the husband then grabs a butcher knife, then heads outside to the party where everybody's outside, then runs up to Jessica and he stabs her in the chest while while they were presenting the birthday cake. So they're presenting the birthday cake to Desong, and here comes the crazy old husband, and he stabbed Jessica in the chest. This is the second traumatic event for Desong involving his birthday. So he goes into a complete epileptic seizure, and when he has these seizures, it is paramount to get him to the hospital in time, because if they don't get him to the hospital in time, he'll die. Okay, the song passes out, goes into a seizure. Dong Ik, the daddy, and Mr. Kim rush to help, but the husband keeps calling for Chong Suk. He comes out, he's screaming, Chong Suk, Chong Suk. That's the mother, not the madam, but their mother. He's looking for her because the husband discovers the wife, then she done died from her injuries, from her head injuries from falling down the stairs. So she's dead. So he's on a rampage. Okay. Chong Suk grabs a tomahawk, the mama, and charges the husband, while Dong Ik and Kim try to stop Jessica's bleeding. Now, mind you, Mr. Kim has a kind of keep of appearances, even though this is his dying daughter. Okay. Dong is screaming at Kim to get the car while Mr. Kim to get the car while Kim is tending to his daughter. So he's trying to stop her bleeding. Dong is screaming at him, yo, get the car so we can take my boy to the hospital. So, can you imagine? This is your daughter being stabbed. You're trying to stop her bleeding from dying. And this motherfucker is screaming at you to get the car for his kid. Okay. All right. As Mr. Kim attempts to throw the keys to Dong Ik, Chong and the husband get in the way. So there's a slow motion shot after Mr. Kim throws the keys. The keys are flying through the air on its way to Dong Ik. And here come Chong and the husband. And they land on the keys. Okay? Because they're fighting. Knife versus tomahawk. They're fighting to the death. Okay? The husband misses the stab attempt on Chong. Then Chong stabs the husband in the side of the head with a skewer. With a meat skewer. Okay, Dahai is carrying a bloody Kevin. The sister Dahai, she brings Kevin. So Kevin's not dead. We thought he died because his head got bashed with the stone by the husband. She's carrying his bloody body out. Right. Dong has 15 minutes to get the song to the hospital. Dong goes over to the husband. The husband says, Mr. Park. Dong says, do I know you? This is the crazy husband. Okay. This is why he got stabbed in the side with the screw, not in the head, the side. So he's still injured, but he keeps screaming, Dong Ik. He keeps screaming his name. And he's like, he keeps yelling, respect, respect, respect. So the husband, he yells respect. Dong then throws the husband over and grabs the keys. Then Dong Ik smells the husband's scent and pinches his nose while leaving with the keys. Mr. Kim is triggered. He grabs the butcher knife and stabs Dong Ik in the chest. The madam passes out. Mr. Kim then runs off. That was his breaking point. That was his breaking point. When he pinched his nose because of his smell, of his scent, stabbed him. Okay? 1 month later, Kevin wakes up after brain surgery. A detective attempts to read him his Miranda rights, but Kevin just keeps laughing because he's had a traumatic brain injury. Kevin and Chong Suk have been convicted of forgery, trespassing, foul play, self-defense. They both receive probation. Chong and Kevin are back in their old apartment. Mr. Kim is still on the run. No one knows where he went. Can't find this guy. It's like he disappeared. Okay. Kevin goes up to the backside of the mountain to see the house. There's a new family there. They're Germans. The family goes to bed, and Kevin sees a light begin to flicker. Huh? Kevin transcribes the message because remember, Kevin has prior military experience. Okay? It says, "Son, perhaps you, if no one else, will be able to read this letter. You were a Boy Scout, so I'm writing this just in case. Have your injuries healed. I'm sure your mom is plenty healthy. I'm doing fine in here, though thinking of Ki Young makes me cry. She died, y'all, from her injuries. Okay? Even now, what happened that day doesn't seem real. It feels like a dream, and yet it doesn't. That day, as I went out the gate, I suddenly knew where I needed to go." He went to the bunker. Okay? He went to the bunker. A house where such a grisly crime took place would surely not be easy to sell. I struggled to hold like that in an empty house. Still, thanks to the house being empty, I was able to give. I was able to give her a proper send off. I hear treeside burials are trendy, so hell, I did my best. But those real estate schmucks sure are clever. They hoodwinked some people who had just arrived in Korea, managed to sell the house with the still working and the kids attending school. The house is usually empty. Okay, so same scenario here as the former husband. When they're off working, kids in school, he can come out and play in the house. And then at night when they sleep, he sneaks up to steal food because there's no one to bring him food. He has to go out and risk every night to bring food back to the bunker with him. Okay, that is a hella long Morse code. Yes, it is. Okay, wait. Stays there 24 hours a day. Each time I go upstairs, I take my life in my hands. It turns out that Germans eat more than just sausage and beer. Now, how did the father get away and not be seen by CCTV cameras? There's a flashback scene when the housekeeper had cut the cables to the CCTV to the house so she wouldn't be caught coming back to the house that night during the rainstorm. That's how the husband was able to disappear. Because in the news, it's like he disappeared. So what you see in the flashback, you see him running into the garage, and it pans back, and you see the camera with the cables cut, the wires are cut. So that's how he was able to disappear with no one finding him. Okay. He says, "What a relief." He sends out this letter every night. So long, Kevin makes a plan to make money. He goes to university. He gets a career. Years later, Kiwoo buys the house. And then while they're out, him and the mom are out in the garden, in the yard. Mr. Kim walks up the stairs and greets Kiwoo and Chong Suk. It's a dream. It's a fantasy. Back to present time. Kiwoo is writing this letter to his dad from the basement. Wow. That was a heavy, heavy, heavy movie, y'all. You have to watch this movie. If you don't watch nothing else, You have to watch this movie. It is a beautifully written movie. Oh, that was Parasite, y'all. That damn shit. I need a drink after that one. All right, all right, all right. Okay.